Daryl Thompson, and today I'm giving you a level 3 electric guitar lesson on the song The Blessing, written and performed by Kari Jobe, Cody, Carnes, and Elevation Worship. And I'm going to be giving you some help with how to play a song that has several guitars in it with just one guitar. In the worship team that I'm currently part of, there aren't a lot of electric guitarists, and so when we have a worship set, we normally only have one guitarist. And so when I have been given a worship set to learn for the weekend, I will go and listen to the original song, which in many cases have several guitar parts. And so what I've got to do is I've got to break it down. I need to listen to all the parts, and I need to work out what I'm going to be playing, what I'm not going to be playing, and this can take a bit of time. So what I do to help me to remember what I've worked out for the next time I play that song is I video record myself playing the parts so that I can refer to that video next time we do the song in a worship set. And I thought to myself, why not put some extra effort into these videos and make these videos available to other guitarists who might be in a worship team where they are the only electric guitarist, or they have worship sets where there's only one electric guitar. So I'm going to play the song The Blessing, which has about 3 guitars in it, and I've only got one guitar to make all those parts work with, and I'm hoping it will help you if you have the song The Blessing in your worship set this weekend. Enjoy. All right, so you are perhaps in a four-piece worship team. You've got drums, bass guitar, keys, and there you are as the only electric guitarist. And so you have the song that you need to prepare for a worship set on the Sunday. And as you listen to the song, as is the case with many modern worship songs, you hear many guitar parts, sometimes 3, 4, 5 or more guitar parts. And this is the case because in most worship settings, you'll have something filmed in a live environment, but then the team goes into studio afterwards and they overdub what was played and they make sure that they got the best sound possible, which means guitarists can put layer upon layer of guitar on a section, and they can use the thousands of dollars worth of equipment to create great effects and that kind of thing. So there you are listening to the guitar and you're going, wow, I can hear this many guitar parts, and I've got my guitar and a few $100s worth of pedals, and off I go. And look, there are great musicians out there and on YouTube who've got so much equipment and access to this equipment. But I'm wondering if some of us are working towards that, and in the meantime we need some help with how do we, in the meantime, serve the song, how do we worship God with our art, how do we help the congregation to worship God? And so I want to help you with that. So the first step I'm suggesting is that you listen to the song. Understand that a song has a start, an end, and then it is on a journey. It's telling a story. There are ups and downs, ins and outs, twists and turns. And so you'll mainly have the vocalist singing the melody over lyrics. And those lyrics are, of course, the story ultimately. But the melody helps that story to be told. And, of course, the instruments creating the foundation behind that melody are also assisting in telling that story. If the instruments aren't doing that well, the story doesn't get told as well. It doesn't feel as good. So you're listening to the song, you're hearing how the song twists and turns, how each section builds to a certain point before it goes to the next section, and then you hear the guitar parts and you recognize, the guitars are helping those sections in this way, which then means you understand what's important, what's crucial, what's vital in each section, because you need to play the crucial parts, of course. If you're playing a minor part, when a crucial part is being neglected, can you understand how that journey, that story is not being told well? So there you go. This song, The Blessing, I can hear 3 guitars, and so the first guitar has a capo on the 4th fret, and so when you play the G-shaped chord, that is ultimately B major, which is the key of the song. And so the first guitar comes in the second verse, which is where I've started playing in the recording, and it is playing arpeggiated chords, which is just one string at a time holding a chord. And that happens for the second verse, and that just creates a nice platform for the vocalist to sing over. Then as the chorus comes in, a second guitar comes in, and that guitar doesn't have a capo, and that's just playing chords on the 1 count of each bar, if I remember correctly. And so that's kind of supporting the first guitar. And that's okay. You've just got those 2, and it sounds good together. As one guitarist, you don't have that option, but you're okay with just the 1 guitar. But the challenge comes in as soon as the bridge starts, because the first guitar stops playing and the second guitar takes over, and it's playing a line that's all the way down here in the neck, and you've got your capo on and you can't access that. So what do? Do you take the capo off? I would generally say no. I don't trust guitar strings to stay in tune if I take a capo off or put it back on. And so what I generally try to do is, throughout a song, keep the capo in the same place, unless I have time, once I've taken the capo off or put it on, to tune up again before I need to start playing again. And I seldom do that, but if you have the capo on, try and keep it on again. So that means I've got to play these notes that the second guitar is playing on this part of the neck. So working it out, it ended up being over here, and that presents some challenges because I'm now playing on the A and D strings, and those are lower strings, and they tend to have a different tone. And so that means the effects that I put on my guitar sound a little bit different. But fortunately with this, after I'd recorded in this area of the guitar, it didn't sound too much different to what the second guitarist does as he plays over here. So I've solved that. Good. We move on. Whew. All right, now as the section grows, because the section has to grow, we can't sit there and have the section go over and over and over and over and nothing happens. It sounds like a stuck record, and a person gets tired of listening to the same thing again and again. So we've got to make sure that section changes in some way. And so that means that parts are added, parts get bigger, there's more intensity, more notes are played more regularly, harmonies are added. These things produce growth in that section. And so what happens is, hey, both guitars come back in, all three guitars now in the section, and there you are with your one guitar going, what do I do now? I can't play all three guitars. So keeping in mind that you're trying to build a section, I was thinking, should I maybe stop playing this and go to what the third guitar is playing, which is a huge single string line. And I thought to myself, no, I think that would actually, the momentum that I've gained by playing this part, I think that would feel like something's just dropped out. I don't think it's a great idea to just stop something mid-section. Some songs you can do it. It just works if you go to the right section. But I felt like this one, just stick with it. Just it's building momentum, it's growing. So to help with building the section, I added some overdrive, some distortion, some extra reverb to the section, which made the parts bigger. I couldn't change parts to make to another part that grew the section, but I could make the part I was playing grow. So if you listen to the recording, it starts to get grittier, dun, 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 and that means there's a lift in the song suddenly. I am doing my part in the song and building that section. And then we get to the Amen, which is the chorus, and it goes to a single line guitar, which is the third guitar. And so I have a few things to consider there. I've got the first guitar playing strong chords, and of course, as the chorus gets there, playing those chords even bigger. You've got the second guitar playing single lines, the third guitar playing single lines. What do? I could go to chords, but I think what would help me in this section is that the bass, the drums, and the keys are playing big already, which means they've created a great foundation for me to spread my wings and go to a single line. But just to be on the safe side, that single line, the single string, the effects that I've placed on that make it really big. There's a lot of distortion, a lot of reverb. In fact, there's so much on there that as I played, I've got to mute the other strings on my guitar with any spare fingers I have, because if I let them ring on their own, they will eventually create feedback. That's just how big the part is, but that's what the song needs. It's just really nice and big. So off I go, and the song finishes, and I land on this on the E and the C shape, and that's the 4 chord of the song, and it's nice and big. And I believe that as you listen to the song, it sounds nice and big. Of course, I've got Elevation and Kari Jobe and Cody Carnes behind me in the backing track, but that I think produced a pretty good result, and it did definitely build each section towards the place of just hugeness. Yeah. Now, playing as one guitarist in a 4-piece band, you are always going to have something missing. Don't be too hard on yourself. But if you can understand that each section needs to have something contributing towards the growth, towards the life, and you do what you can with the parts that you have and the fingers, of course, that you've got, then you can contribute towards the life of that song, and the song can actually sound pretty good, which means that the average church congregation member won't recognize that, hey, where's guitar 2 and guitar 3? They won't know that. All they know is that the song feels good. There's great emotion connected to. When we got to the chorus, there was just such a lift, and I really felt alive as I sang those words of worship to God. And that's because you helped to make the section feel and build to a great place. That's the end of this video. To be notified when other videos like this one come out, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.